So recently I platinumed the forest, and if you want to watch me make fun of that, it's going to happen again today, but it also happened yesterday on my main channel. Anyways, the forest is a very unique take on survival and horror games. One of my most favorite games of all time, but this trophy list made me hate it deeply. It constantly made me want to die inside and was somehow more dry than my sex life. Anyways, today I'll be giving you all an in-depth guide on how to platinum the game and how not to lose your mind in the process. Part 1 to this game's platinum is to play the game to 100 days, and while doing so, go for every single easy and hard trophy in the process. In this step, you will get all the collectibles, do a ton of dumb things, and torture innocent animals. So basically, it's just a normal day in the job as a PETA worker. The first trophy you should go for is to sleep on the yacht, which is positioned very obviously next to a giant tree and in the ocean near where your plane will most likely crash. You can do this on the first night of the game or on any other night, it doesn't really matter. But all you have to do regardless is sleep on the bed inside the yacht, which is something I wish I could do in real life, but taxes f me harder than a big black dude. The next 2 trophies you can get very early on also. All you need to do is go make a bow and some arrows and go shoot a bird and a bunny rabbit. If you don't know how to craft these, I will pop it up on screen right now for you. But you can also just go to the Forest Wiki to find basically everything about this game you could even think of. Also, while I was going for all these trophies, it helps to make a base and not freeball it like it's December, because that is just wild. A trophy named Handyman can be done by repairing your base or house or basically any wall you place down. You can do this naturally if the cannibals attack your buildings, or you can self-vandalize your base and then repair it if you're feeling like a true villain, which is what my ex feels like when she says she just needs time. During the first part of this platinum, as I said, you need to last 100 days, which if you don't already know takes over 40 hours of in-game playtime and will make you want to die. While regretting your life choices in this part, you will build a lot of things to take up time, and one of those should be the gazebo, which is a simple pre-built structure. And if you do this, you will get a trophy for it also, just by simply building it and placing it down. Another trophy that can be attained at any time is done by spearing a fish in a pond, which is probably going to happen naturally since this is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to get food in the game. The fish will spawn infinitely in this game, so you can literally just go to any pond or little puddle in the forest and you'll find fish just swimming around, jerking each other off all day. Truly a college girl's paradise if we are being honest.
What did he say?
There is a dumb trophy in this game for placing a long wall blueprint, which is done by choosing custom wall from your crafting menu and then running away from your problems like I do every day. You don't need to go as far as I did, but I just really wanted to send a message. And much like my dating life, I felt instant regret after such message was sent, because then I went through and had to cancel all of it piece by piece because it was such an eyesore. The cannibals in this game get super annoying, and the developers knew that, so they added in a trophy where you need to smash their head in with a rock once they are already down on the ground and slightly disabled like my grandma. All you need to do for this trophy is smash a rock on their face once they fall down. But be warned, since it is slightly buggy, it might not pop. I didn't have any issues going for it, but then again, I'm a god, so that was to be expected. Chop Chop is the trophy you will get no matter what during this game. It is done by chopping up 50 body parts total. If you don't get this naturally, I would honestly be shocked by how much of a saint you are, because who in their right mind wouldn't want to make these idiots smear all over the floor as much as possible? I really see why Patrick Bateman did what he did now. If you didn't know, in this game, you can craft medicine with plants you find on the ground while it's perusing your new vacation destination. The Naturopath trophy is done by making medicine 10 times from nature, which is the only way to make medicine other than to just find it. This trophy is extremely buggy, and I had to craft well over 10 to get it, but a way to ensure you get it quicker is to just find 10 plants of each kind you need and then just craft 10 medicine in a row to ensure the game tracks it in a swift manner. In each cave within this game, there is usually a key item. Now this could be a weapon, collectible, or new fear you unlocked. But in one of the caves, you will find a compass and a map, which are very key items since they help you navigate the map and obtain the Spelunker trophy much later on. But if you equip the compass one time, you will get the Boy Scout trophy. Now, I'm pretty sure the Boy Scouts are all EDP 405 enthusiasts, but the trophy doesn't condone that kind of behavior as far as I know. When exploring the caves, you can also find explosives and dynamite, and if you throw some of these close to that group trees, you'll get the Demolition Expert trophy, obtained by breaking 6 at once, which sounds hard, but once you get it, you'll realize it wasn't that hard after all.
That's what she said.
You can also do the commercial Fisherman trophy here since you now have explosives. Go to any little pond in the forest and look around to make sure there is multiple fish in it before throwing in the death sentence at them. I then went after some collectible trophies, which aren't that bad if you take your time exploring the caves and don't just run through them like your mom did to guys at college. There's lots of guides online if you need help with specific passengers or other collectibles, but you should be able to get the Get Closure trophy pretty easily if you have patience, unlike my ex-girlfriend. It is done by finding every single passenger on the plane that we crashed on in the beginning. The game also gives you a list of every single one of them from the start, which is located in the bottom middle of your screen when going into your inventory. I actually didn't know that was a thing until I needed to check to see what passengers I have left. So make sure to check on that throughout to see if you missed any. Not every single passenger is underground, but a good portion of them are. After that, I got the Unseen trophy, which is very easy, and all you have to do is kill and skin a lizard, then craft stealth armor one time and wear it to get the trophy pop. I then did the Green Thumb trophy, which is also very easy and just requires you to plant 3 different plant types in a garden box. You should be able to find these plant types relatively easy, seeing as if you just walk 14 feet towards any forest around you, there will be plants everywhere. Gabe Fan is the second collectible trophy out of the 3. You get it by finding all the cassette tapes, which can actually increase your energy and stamina if you didn't know. Looking at a guide to find these is probably the best way if you haven't already found all of them by the end. And if you miss 1 or 2, don't worry because they don't despawn or anything. The third and final collectible for this game is by simply finding all the pieces for Timmy's robot toy. This one is also not very hard, but you have to be careful not to run past them because they usually just sit on the floor near other more important and eye-catching things. Spelunker is a trophy acquired by exploring every single cave. Now this is pretty vague, much like when she said she just needed time, but it can be tracked by looking in your notes and seeing whether or not your guy has crossed off the caves that he has on his list. Pretty much all you need to do is find all the caves and then use your map to run around every inch of them, and ensure you run all the way to the back and front so you don't miss any amount of distance. The Bite Me trophy is acquired by killing a shark in the game. Now you need to do this for the Trophy Hunter trophy also, so you can knock this at the same time. My strategy of doing this was going and swimming around the yacht until I saw the shark spawn in nearby. This is probably the fastest way to get the trophy, but you have to be careful because the thing will most likely bite you, and it almost killed me in the process. But if you aim your bow good enough, you'll be able to kill it in about 4 shots. Fun Guy is a trophy gotten by eating all mushroom types in the game. I guess this could also be argued as a collectible, but I'd call it more of just being a fat ass like Lizzo. Anyways, the mushrooms are very easy to spot on the floor if you just stare down at it like an ashamed child while it's walking around the forest. But if you can't find them all, just go to the winter biome in the north and walk around there for a while because there's more spawns and they're even easier to see since there isn't any plants up there. The next trophy I got was the one called Trophy Hunter, for killing and displaying the heads of all the animals in the game. Every one of these is very easy aside from the goose and shark. The shark you can kill as we all know, but to display the head you need to chop it off one of the sharks that washed up on the shore since you can't do that underwater. And for the goose, you need to literally just wait on shore until they fly away from the pond they're in and shoot them out of the air. I got super lucky with my shot and the goose landed barely on shore, but in all honesty, that one is super scuffed. Major Cannibalism is a quote-unquote grind trophy in the game, but I personally think it should be a Buggy trophy because it's done by just eating a ton of cannibals over and over. Some people say it's 6 total, which is just both arms and legs 6 times. And to clarify, it has to be with the cannibals, not the gray mutants as far as I know, but this trophy is yet again, in my opinion, bugged. So to get it, I just spammed eating their bodies over and over. I ended up eating out a girl way more than I wanted to, and it was kind of gross after a while.
That's what I'm saying.
The Pedometer, which doesn't track EDP 4x5, but instead tracks your steps in the game, can be found in the caves you explored earlier. And this trophy won't start counting until you get this item, so make sure to do it relatively fast or else it might not pop until after you grab it. Basically, it just counts your steps until you reach 50,000, and at that point, the trophy will pop. The other somewhat buggy trophy in this game is called Crafty, and from my experience, everything worked out fine, and after I crafted every single item in the game, it popped. There isn't really any hard items in the game to craft, some are just grindy, but if it doesn't work for you, then my only advice is to kill yourself, and then respawn and craft it all again until it does pop. To get the 100 Days Bad Father trophy, you must last 100 days, as I've said earlier. My best advice to get this in the fastest manner possible is to just make sure to sleep as soon as possible every single day you play. I ended up AFKing, but also having my PlayStation in sight so I could just eat and sleep every day in the game to help it go by faster. This method will still take over 40 hours to do, but it's substantially faster than just AFKing in a creative lobby. Anyways, I finally reached the 100 days for the Bad Father trophy, and I got that pop whilst I was also exploring the endgame Sahara lab for the first time. Once you enter the final game area, you have found the Sahara lab, or worksite where they made all the mutants and everything, and shot down the plane that we were on originally in the beginning. There's 4 trophies that can be gotten here, and are all missable if you don't pay attention. The first 3 are all done in the very first common room area. You need to drink coffee or just use the coffee machine, and then use both snack machines. And finally, shoot a flame arrow at the sprinkler up on the ceiling. After that, you have to wait till a bit later to find the water cooler with a head in it, which is right before the final spot in the game. Anyways, you basically just wander throughout the Sahara facility until you finally find Timmy, and he is inside the alien-looking machine. The poor lad is more dead than my channel, and the only way to save him is to use the machine with a live specimen to transfer life or something back into Timmy. So you go to try and find a live one, but instead run into this demonic little demon child who transforms like a bad habit into a giant enemy, and I don't even know what to call it except disgusting. To beat her easily, just use the bow and arrow with flame arrows. If you have the old gun, I would also use that here, but I didn't since I couldn't be bothered to find it when you don't need to. After beating her, you then carry her back to Timmy, and she drops a key card, which you take all the way over to the end of the game's area. After interacting with the computer thing and sending the plane down, you have beaten the game and got the good ending. All you need to do now is sit back and relax as cutscenes play with credits to get the game finished trophy pop. After that, I went and did the vegan playthrough while it was all still fresh in my mind. During this, all you need to do is go into creative mode and find the key card, climbing axe if you want to, and the rebreather if you want to. The only real essential thing you need is the key card, but anything extra also helps. In creative, you can't die obviously, so just jump down into the sinkhole and make your way to the Sahara lab. You still have to fight the boss at the end, which kind of sucks since it's actually quite hard without all the OP equipment, but you can't die, so just take your time. And after that, just finish off the game like you just did, and the vegan trophy should pop unless you killed an animal by accident or chopped down a tree and it killed an animal also. I then got a friend to join me in multiplayer so I can knock off all these easily. The first 2, you just have to place a snack and a weapon on a tray and have them take it. But then I knocked out my boy 10 times and revived him right after it for the medic trophy. The final multiplayer one is to just sleep at night with one other player or more. It's as described, and once night falls and you can sleep, the whole lobby just has to do that and the trophy is yours. Now it is time to do the second most annoying trophy in the game, don't save the forest. You must chop down 1,000 trees in a single lobby and sitting. And yes, I mean that you literally cannot leave it or close the game. But thankfully you can do it in creative with your friends and you can just place down explosive traps and run into it. So basically you become a Middle Eastern person. I had a little bit of help from my friend from the multiplayer trophies, but ended up by myself since he left and it took me around 45 minutes to do them all. This is another grind and you just gotta keep on doing it and eventually you'll get the pop. And the platinum right after. So that was my guide for the forest. If you want to see more platinum guides, then make sure to subscribe for more booty pics.